What if one skill could power AI, analytics, and business decisions across every industry? In this video, you will discover how data engineering works, the tools behind modern data pipelines, and why it's becoming the most in-demand career in the tech world. If you are in IT and still stuck in the same salary, not getting enough interview calls, listen carefully. Right now, there are two types of people. Those who keep waiting and those who upgrade their skills and move into high-paying roles, earning 15 to 45 plus LPA because the market has already shifted. Cloud, data, AI, DevOps. These are the roles driving real career growth today. At Coding Superstars, we have helped thousands of professionals move into top tech roles.
I got placed in Ibex Labs. Previously, my package was 8 lakhs. Now it is around 14 lakhs. Thanks for the Coding Superstar for the guidance, and the course is very worth it.
I have accepted a position as a DevOps engineer at NTI Mindtree. The skills which were taught by Coding Superstar were directly applicable to the role, and I'm confident that they will be essential for my success.
Recognized by Silicon India as one of the top 10 cloud computing training firms in India. People who once had zero coding experience are now working in top companies like Microsoft, Accenture, TCS, Infosys, and more. This is not just another course. This is your path to becoming industry ready. So watch this till the end.
What does a data engineer do? A data engineer builds data pipeline. Builds data pipeline. DP means data pipeline. Okay. Next comes DevOps. Why do we need DevOps? Okay. Once we have built data pipeline, okay, we need somebody to deploy data pipelines into production. For that, we need DevOps or Terraform, all of it. Then, in the third layer, we need Gen AI and Agentic. Why do we need this? We need this to automate. Okay, automate the complete tasks. Okay, complete project. For example, once you build the data pipeline, if you have built 400 data pipeline, out of this 50 data pipelines are not working, you can make the agentic AI solve this 50 data, fix the 50 data pipelines which are not working. How exactly that works, we'll be looking into this. Okay, so we'll be first talking about data engineer, then into DevOps, okay, then into agentic AI. Okay, so now let's get into the first and foremost skill. Okay, remember you have to learn all the three. There is no option at all. If you are learning only data engineer, you may not get that many interview calls, right? You have to learn all the three. Okay, how all the three works together, I will tell you about that. So first and foremost, now we'll be talking about how data engineering works. How does data engineering skill work? We'll be talking about that. So now, can you guys type in the chat box, what are the responsibilities of a data engineer? What do you think are the responsibility of a data engineer? What does a data engineer do? Why are the data engineers paid so much? Why are the data engineers paid in the range of, for beginners, in the range of 8 to 15 LPA, and experienced professionals in the range of 15 to 45 LPA, or even in the product-based company 45 LPA plus? Why are the companies paying so much? What are the responsibility of a data engineer? Type in the chat box, guys. Extracting data from different sources, transforming in the data into load, and what else? What? Okay, Bhishma, yes, the answer is right. Okay, I want more approaches of what you're understanding. And guys, start answering in the chat box. To deploy the data safely into cloud by extracting from different sources. What else? What other answers do we have? Fine, let me answer. The data engineer has three major responsibilities. Responsibility number 1, responsibility number 2, and responsibility number 3. Responsibility number 1 is to design. Okay. Responsibility number 2 is to build. Responsibility number 3 is to manage. What will a data engineer design, build, and manage? Can you guys answer in the chat box? What will a data engineer design? What will a data engineer build? And what will a data engineer manage? Can you guys type in the chat? Okay, yes. A data engineer designs, builds, and manages data pipelines. Okay, data pipeline. So now what do you mean by data pipeline? A data pipeline is something that connects source with the destination. A data pipeline is something that connects source with the destination. Now, what do you mean by source? Source is a place where we have raw data. Okay. What kind of data is called as raw data? Can you guys type in the chat box? What kind of a data is called as raw data? Any data which is unprocessed, unstructured, unclean is called as raw data. So now, but at the destination, we have got AI team, we have got machine learning team, we have got data science team, we have got deep learning team, we have got business intelligence team, we have got data analyst team. We have got all these teams. We have got all these teams at the destination. We have got all these teams at the destination. So now, okay, can we directly supply raw data to all these teams? Yes or no, guys? Type in yes or no. Can we directly supply this raw data to all these teams, AI teams, all these teams? No, yes, absolutely no. We cannot supply raw data to them. We have to supply what kind of a data? What is the input? Okay, what kind of a data we need to feed to AI, ML, data science, deep learning, BI and data analyst teams? We need to feed fully processed, fully structured, fully clean, business ready data. Business ready data. Okay, have to feed this data. Now, who will convert this raw data into fully processed business data? Who will convert this? Type in the answer. Who will convert this? Yes. That is where data engineer comes into picture. Our data engineer will convert this raw data into fully processed business ready data. Okay, how will he convert? By building a data pipeline. By building a data pipeline from source to destination. Okay, in this data pipeline, a data engineer takes three actions. Action number 1, 2, and 3. What are the three actions what the data engineer performs in this pipeline? Type in the chat box, guys, quickly. What are the three actions? Prominent actions. Yes, the prominent actions are extraction, transformation, and loading. Extraction, transformation, and loading. First thing, extraction. Let's talk about step number 1, that is extraction. Extracting the data. Now, can you guys tell me, like, what are the different sources where we extract the data? What are the different sources? For example, it can be from a website, it can be from any kind of application, it can be from an API, it can be from a SQL database, it can be from a NoSQL database, it can be from AWS, it can be from AWS S3 bucket, it can be from SAP, it can be from Salesforce, it can be from social media, it can be from a CSV format, it can be from XML format, it can be from anywhere. Okay, the first step is whatever the raw data we have from different sources, what we need to do, we need to extract this raw data. We need to extract this raw data from different sources into a single place. Okay, extract the raw data, okay, from different sources into a single place. This is called as data extraction. Which tool in Azure do we use for extracting the data from different sources? Can you guys type in the chat box? Which tool in Azure do we use, okay, for extracting the data from different sources? Type in the chat box. Which tool in Azure do we use for extracting the data from different sources? Nobody knows. Okay, yes. The answer is, okay, ADF, Azure Data Factory. Azure Data Factory. Okay, Azure Data Factory has more than 90 plus connectors. It can extract the data from all the different sources. For ADF, we don't need any kind of coding. It's like no code tool. It's a no code tool. Okay, it's just drag and drop. Okay, we'll take around like 18 to 20 class, around like each and every class around like 1.5 to 2 hours to complete this data factory with along with projects. Once we extract the data, second step is we have to store the data. Before transforming the data, we need to store the data. So can you guys tell me what are the storage spaces we have in Azure? What are the storage spaces we have in Azure? Can you guys type in the chat box? What are the storage spaces we have in Azure? Where do we store the data in Azure? Yes, the first storage space is called blob storage. And the second very important storage space is called as ADLS Gen 2. Okay, Gen 2, ADLS Gen 2. Okay, is nothing but Azure Data Lake storage. Okay, what kind of data can we store in the help of ADLS Gen 2? We can only store big data. What do you mean by big data? What do you mean by big data? Any data which is in the range of what? Terabyte to petabyte is called as big data. So when we store this big data, we have to store this data into 3 layers. What are the 3 layers we store the data into? we store it into bronze layer. 3 layers where we store the data is bronze layer, okay, silver layer, and gold layer. So these are the 3 layers where we can store the data. So this approach of storing the data is called as what kind of architecture is this? What is the architecture called as? This is called as medallion architecture because it's in the form of medal, right? Bronze medal, silver medal, okay, gold medal. That is the reason it's called as medallion architecture. What is medallion architecture? The approach of storing the data in 3 different layers, bronze, silver, and gold in AD Gen 2, okay, is called as medallion architecture. So now, for terabyte and petabyte, we got to know that we can store in big data. What if the data is in GBs, gigabytes, 10 GB, 20 GB and all? It's a small volume. Then we can store it in, if the volume of the data is very small, we'll be storing the data in what? Blob storage. Okay, this is all about storage space. To summarize, we store the data into 2 places in Azure. If there's a small volume, we store it in blob storage. If it's a huge volume like big data, we'll be storing in ADLS Gen 2. Then finally, what we do, we have to transform the data. We have to transform the data. For transforming the data, which tool do we use? We'll be using Databricks. Databricks is one of the powerful big data processing tool. Okay, this is where most of the candidates get rejected because in Databricks, inside that we have to even learn Apache Spark. What is Apache Spark? It is a big data processing engine. Okay, big data processing engine within Apache Spark. Okay, in Apache Spark, we do the parallel processing. For example, if we need to transform 500 TB of data, this will be transformed into, okay, we do the parallel processing, like parallel processing in 5 different servers, like 100 TB here, 100 TB here, 100 TB here, 100 TB here, and 100 TB here. This is called as parallel processing. We do the parallel processing with the help of Apache Spark. Okay, Apache Spark. Okay, so that is the reason. So likewise, like Apache Spark, we have got other big data processing engines also. Like we have got Hadoop, Scala, Kafka and all. Why are we using Apache Spark even beyond that? Because Apache Spark is very fast and efficient. That is the reason most of the companies trust Apache Spark for their project. So now we need to communicate with Databricks and Apache Spark. What language do we use for communicating with Apache Spark and Databricks? What language do we use for communicating with Apache Spark and Databricks? Type in the chat box, guys. What language do you use to communicate between Databricks and Apache Spark?
Python.
Yes. The answer is PySpark. Okay, PySpark is the library of Python, which is used for big data transformation. May I know how many of you are new to PySpark? Type in new in the chat box. How many of you are completely new to PySpark? Type in new in the chat box, guys. Okay, so not to worry, even if you are new to PySpark, before we start with Data Factory, we will be learning PySpark, NumPy, Pandas, and also we will be even learning about Azure SQL also. Okay, so you need not have to, even if you do not know Python, even if you do not know ABCD of Python also, we'll be starting from the very scratch. Not to worry about that part. So now once we have transformed the data, next thing is we have to load the data. Okay, next thing we have to load the data. Where do we load the data? We load the data into a data warehouse. So can you guys tell me what is the data warehouse in Azure called as? Can you guys answer? What is the data warehouse in Azure called as? Let me give you the hint. It starts with the name S. Yes, Synapse is the right answer. Snowflake is also data warehouse, but Snowflake is not native of Azure. Okay, Synapse is the right answer. Synapse Analytics. Synapse Analytics. Okay, it's a data warehouse. Okay, from here we can even supply the data to all the multiple servers. We can supply the data to AI team, machine learning team, data science team, deep learning team, business intelligence, all these teams we can supply the data. Okay, we can supply the data. We can supply the data to all these teams. Okay. Okay, in short, what do we do as a data engineer? What all things we do as a data engineer? We do these things. Okay, first thing, we have raw data here. Okay, we extract the raw data with the help of ADF, then store the raw data. in blob storage and ETLs, then transform the data, then load the data. From here, we supply it to all these teams. Okay. So in short, once we have worked on all these things, then we'll be learning, okay, one more very powerful tool, okay, which is a trending tool in Azure. Can you guys tell me which is a trending tool in Azure right now? It starts with F. What is a trending tool in Azure right now? It starts with letter F.
Fabric.
Yes,
Fabric,
it's nothing
Azure.
but Fabric Data Engineer. We have to learn about that. Fabric is also no-code tool. It's one of the latest tool. Okay. See, as and when time goes, data engineer remains the same. Data engineer job will never go. But there will be new tools that will be coming into the picture. We have to learn new tools, right? So now we have got a new tool. We are learning the new tool. Okay. So we have to upgrade. For example, if you are using every year, iPhone releases a new version, iPhone 17, iPhone 18, iPhone 19, so on and so forth. Okay, these are the innovations. Similarly, Azure also has its own new tools coming into picture. We have to keep on upgrading. Okay, because Microsoft, okay, will integrate a lot of AI tools also into the data engineering part. That is the reason data engineering job, okay, can never be taken away, especially this AI-driven data engineering part. So this is how the architecture of the complete data engineer looks like. So totally we'll be working on, how many projects we'll be working on? 5 projects. What are the 5 projects look like? First project is on Azure Data Factory. Second project will be working on Databricks. Third project will be working on, okay, we'll be working on Synapse. Fourth will be on Fabric, and fifth and very important project will be an end-to-end project. Okay, where we'll be working on all of it put together. Okay, you will be working on e-commerce data sets, healthcare data sets, stock market data sets, different supply chain data sets, any kind of data sets will be working on it. So how much duration it will take for you to learn all these things? It will bare minimum take around like 3.5 to 4 months. If you do not know Python and SQL, which is very important for data engineering, we'll be learning this Python and SQL from the start. Tomorrow at 9 p.m. you'll be getting started with Python. If you're already enrolled, well and good. If you're not enrolled, after this session, connect with the team. They will help you out with the enrollment process. This is all about data engineering part. What exactly are the tools covered in data engineering? What is the content for data engineering? To know that, I'm sharing the content in the chat box. Try to go through this. I am sharing with the AD data engineering content in the chat box. Try to go through this. You'll get a clarity on what all things are covered in data engineering part. I have shared you, go through that. You'll be getting the clarity on what all things are covered in data engineering.